people, come into my kitchen. We're going to make a tortilla frittata. Come on in, and we're going to cook. Now, we're going to start out with dessert first, and we're going to do a strawberry margarita cake. How bad does that sound? And I already have the cake prepared. It's just a boxed cake mix. I'm going to bring it over and show you. And it's a beautiful color. And it's just a strawberry cake mix. Yes, you can find strawberry cake mix. And you follow the instructions on the cake: oil, water, and 3 eggs. And the only thing I did differently was I added some beautiful fresh lime zest into the cake mix. And that's it. And then we're going to make an infusion that goes in with tequila, lime, and a little bit of triple sec. And we're going to poke holes in the cake. And you can use whatever, you can use skewers. I kind of like this. It's not as fat as a wooden spoon, like a lot of people will take like a wooden spoon. But I thought that was just too big, and I didn't want to destroy the cake. So you just poke it all over. And this is so this liquid will infuse and sink down into the cake. And you can certainly do this ahead of time. And you can see it's not going to destroy the integrity of the cake. So there you go. You can see it's just random holes that you put through. Now we're going to make excuse me, the liquid that goes into it, the glaze. And I'm going to start out with 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. And then this is fresh lime juice, and you really want to use fresh lime juice. And we're going to do a 1/4 cup of the lime juice. And I included the pulp in there too. You don't have to strain it. And a good suggestion is to poke a hole in your limes and put them in the microwave for about 45 seconds. And then you slice them. I would zest the lime first and then put it in the microwave. And you get a lot of juice. It heats up the liquids inside the lime. And then you juice your lime and you get a lot more juice that way. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of tequila. So using this is 1. And if you're serving this 4th of July, you might want to put a little note up for the kids so they don't get into it. And this certainly isn't child friendly because this is not cooked off. This is raw alcohol. So you can do a separate one for them. So 1, this is triple sec, and 2. And I didn't introduce my guest tonight, Karen. You all remember Karen is back. And you like tequila, and want to make sure because this is a good one. So we're going to take and just blend this together, and it's like a liquid. And this would be an easy thing to make. It smells just like a margarita. Put that, and I'm just going to pour it. I'm going to get a spoon and just kind of drizzle it. And it's okay if it doesn't stay right on the cake. But you certainly have enough that you can be very generous with this. And it makes the cake nice and moist. And that's why I really didn't change the recipe at all, other than adding the limes, because we're going to have quite a bit on top, and we're going to add a glaze as well. So we're going to let that soak in. And don't forget to go near the center a little bit too. And this is great if you wanted to cool it first in the refrigerator and let it set up, but you don't need to. And that's that. I'm going to let that set for just a minute. And we're going to do a strawberry topping. See these, Karen? I just sliced them. And I'll show you how I did it with the right tools. and I just core out the strawberries. And this is an egg slicer, but I put it point side up, and then you just slice it and into the bowl. It's so much easier than doing them one at a time. And this is great for kiwis, bananas, and of course eggs as well. This would be great during strawberry season too, which is not too far away. You just do that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sugar to sweeten them. But these are pretty good, so we don't need much sugar. That's that. And probably, I would say a tablespoon of sugar, not even, maybe a teaspoon, and see how they taste. And then, of course, I'm going to let these macerate. And we're going to add a little more flavor. We're going to call this flavor. This is the vanilla of the alcohol world. And then a little bit of the triple sec is like an orange liqueur. So equal amounts. And set that aside. And that's going to go at the end. We're going to garnish with that. And now we're going to make the glaze that goes on top. Now, this here is 1.5 cups of sugar. Go back to the tequila. Another 2 tablespoons of tequila. And this is nice that you don't have to make a frosting. 2 tablespoons of triple sec. And then back to the lime juice. 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Just enough. And we're going to blend that. And you want to try and get as much of the lumps out as you can. It's fairly smooth. And I'm just going to let that soak for a minute and then finish the glaze. And then when we come back, we're going to do a cornbread in the oven. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're going to do a little side dish and get this in the oven. And I started here with a box of just regular, my favorite Jiffy cornbread. And I'm following the directions on here, except I'm adding something. It's so convenient to take the help where you can. And that's why I'm using a boxed corn muffin mix. And then, as it instructs, 1/3 cup of milk. And sometimes I've used buttermilk, and buttermilk is good too. So we'll mix the egg. And as usual, I have my eggs at room temperature. Did you know that, Karen? Whenever you're doing baking or cooking, try and leave your eggs out at least an hour, and they blend in so much better. And then I'm going to add some chives. Now this is the little addition. And probably 1/4 cup, about that much chives. That'll give it a nice flavor. And the whole box of cake mix. And then we're just going to mix that together. And I have here my pre-seasoned cast iron. I just think cast iron looks so homey. And it keeps things warmer too. And you get a nice crust on the bottom. And here I've brushed on some of our famous non-stick solution, which is, instead of the spray stuff, like you need a little help with the cast iron. I'll give you the measurements. To make a non-stick, you keep this in your refrigerator and you add 1 part each of vegetable oil, shortening, and flour. And you take a whisk and whisk that all together and you brush it on anything and it makes it non-stick. And it's so good to have. You don't have any residue in the bottom. It doesn't warp the colors that you have on your cooking and baking utensils and dishes. It's just a nice little thing to have. It's a good hack. So this is our Jiffy cornbread. And we're going to put this in our preheated oven at 400 degrees. And I'm going to set the timer for, let's do 23 minutes. And it's good to use your timer if you can. So I'm going to set that aside. Now we're going to make a little herb butter to go with it. Because why not? And this is where you're going to get your extra flavors. And I have here just about 2 tablespoons of soft butter. And I'm going to add to this some chili lime seasoning. You know how I love my seasonings. And you could do, if you didn't have this, you could do a taco mix. You could do really anything. And if not, use some chili flakes or red pepper flakes and some of your lime zest. So I'm going to put in about half a teaspoon, depending on how spicy you like it. And this isn't, I'm going to add a little more. And this is going to go on your cornbread when you serve it. It's always nice to have a little something on the side. And then just a little, I'm going to put the chives on the top. And this has chili and lime in it, so it's going to be a nice little flavor addition. And you just mix it up and put it in a pretty little dish. And if you have leftover cornbread, this is great in the morning with a nice egg and avocado on the top. Yum. So we'll put that on there. And just for color, a little sprinkling of chives. And a cute little spreader to go with it. And our cornbread should be ready to go. And we'll serve that along with it. So when we come back, we're going to do our Mexican tortilla frittata or a tortata. You heard it here first. It's going to be awesome. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. Our cornbread's cooking away. We've got our cake almost done, and I'm going to do the glaze at the last minute so you can see how that's done. And this frittata starts out with flour tortillas. And I have to say, I made this, and it was the best. If you want something last minute for a dinner or a luncheon, or you usually have eggs in your refrigerator, keep tortillas on hand. And this is the most satisfying meal you can make. I love this, and you're going to be amazed at how quickly it comes together. Now, on the stove here, I have a nonstick skillet with a tablespoon of vegetable oil, and I'm just going to heat that up. And you don't want it too hot, but you want it hot enough. We're going to toast the flour tortillas and have handy a cover, a lid, because this is all going to be stovetop cooking on the frittata. So we have 3, not the small, but the regular sized flour tortillas, and we're going to roll them up. And this is so fun to do. And we're going to cut about 1-inch strips of the flour tortillas. Now, I guess you can use corn, but I think the flour tortillas absorb we're going to mix up an egg mixture, egg and milk. And I think the flour tortillas are more conducive to that. But Karen, you could use corn tortillas too. Yeah, the flour tortillas I love the flavor too. It's almost like a quiche consistency, but with the flour tortillas. It is so good. And you can see how these came together. And you just kind of, and this would serve probably 3 or 4 people. So I'm going to wait till my skillet gets nice and hot. And in here I have 3 eggs, again, room temperature eggs. And I'm just going to get these going a little bit. And to this I'm going to add a cup of whole milk. And a little seasoning. I would do some salt. About a teaspoon of salt. And a little bit of fresh black pepper. And I like to grind mine. Now we're only going to cook these on the stove top for 10 minutes. I like a lot of pepper. I'm going to blend that up. And let me see, I'm going to take a little test strip. And you can see it's sizzling. Okay, so that's going to be pretty hot. I'm going to take these and just drop them in. Right into the pan like this. And then I'm going to take some tongs and just kind of distribute the oil. And we're not going to cook all of this, but if we toast a little bit, they get a nice crispy texture. So they're going to hold up to the eggs that we're going to put in there as well. So you can add different things into this. You can do chili peppers, black olives. We have here tomatoes. I have a mixture of cheddar cheese, the white and dark sharp cheddar. I like the way sharp cheddar melts. And a little bit of American cheese because I had it, and I think that gives it a nice creamy texture. And see how nicely the eggs blend when they're room temperature. So let's turn this up a little bit. And I wouldn't walk away from that because it's going to cook and brown really quickly. We're also going to do, for garnish, you know, cilantro would be good in here too, but do you like cilantro, Karen? Yeah, a lot of people don't like cilantro, but I do. And then a nice ripe avocado. Perfect. And you being very careful. And here's a good tip to get that off. You just bang it on the counter and the pit comes off. And it scares a lot of people too. So we're going to take the ripe avocado. Somebody told me, and I've never tried this, but let me know how this works. They said if your avocado isn't ripe, you can put it in the microwave for about 20 seconds and it softens your avocado. But don't walk away from that one. I'd be afraid. But it's supposed, yeah, but it makes sense because all you want to do is soften it anyway. So I'm just slicing, and this is going to be a beautiful garnish on the top. This would be a great brunch recipe to make, and great for Mother's Day too. But since Cinco de Mayo is coming up, I thought this would be a good one to have. And then we're just going to scoop this out. And you have beautifully precision cut avocado slices to go on top. And this is a good size. And I mean, what goes better with eggs, any kind of egg dish, than avocado? It's so creamy. It's so colorful. And it's healthy too. These are cute. Sometimes I save these and put salsa in them. And an avocado dip or guacamole. They're really good. But we're not going to do that today. Let's check on our tortillas. Let's see if they're browning underneath. Oh, they smell toasty. Look at this. You just want to blend them like so. See how beautifully brown. And I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. I'm going to move this over so you can see what we're doing on here. Just going to take this, turn it down to very low because we want to cook the eggs. I'm going to try and get some of these on the bottom so they'll all be toasted. And watch this, the sizzle. Can you hear that? Get that all in. And we had a little spillage here. And then you want to start with your flavors. Now we have a little bit of chopped tomatoes. And I took the seeds out because it doesn't make it as watery. Put as much as you'd like. And then a little bit of chives. And then some cheese. Look at how beautiful that is already. Look at the colors. And it is cooking up nicely. And you probably want a good cup of cheese, whatever. I mean, you could do Parmesan, but I find that's a little saltier. Monterey Jack would be great. A pepper jack would be awesome. You can never have too much cheese. And you can do a low-fat version of this, too. You make it just like this, and then you don't eat it. So look at that. That is a meal. How easy was that? And you put it on the stove, 10 minutes, and you're good to go. Now, if you can notice how low that flame is, you just want it to kind of poach is the right word. If you were boiling water, you wouldn't want a rapid boil. You just want a slow simmer, and that's what we're doing here. And our cornbread has about 8 minutes, and I'm going to work on our cake, and we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. We gave our strawberry margarita cake a little time to absorb some of that liquid infusion, and now I'm going to just drizzle. This is our glaze with the powdered sugar, triple sec tequila. We're just going to put that over the top. Like that. That looks pretty darn good. And then we're going to take some lime. We slice these limes very thinly. Here's a little bit more of that lime zest that we put in the strawberry cake mix. And just a little bit on the top. Look at how that brings out the beautiful color. This smells so good. It smells just like a margarita. And then I slit the limes like this, and then I'm just going to put them over the top of the cake. Karen, if this wasn't me, I'd be impressed. You could bring this anywhere. The 4th of July, Cinco de Mayo, a solar eclipse. You'd be the talk of the party. So just to garnish the side. Oh, yes. Oh, for the eclipse. Yeah. A sun cookie to block out the sun. That's interesting. Now I'm going to... Yeah, send me that. This here, we're going to do a little garnish, and we take point side up on our egg slicer, and you don't go all the way through. You just go part of the way, lift it back up, and you have a strawberry fan like that. So we're going to put that over here in our margarita glass. And remember our strawberries with the tequila and triple sec. We're going to put those... Let's see, that's our cornbread. Oh, that looks really good. And we're going to put this inside the margarita glass. Isn't this a great presentation? Fresh strawberries with tequila. I might bring this for the 4th of July. I think this would be spectacular. And a nice little serving spoon over there. And then let's do a big, look at this beautiful strawberry. Let's do a beautiful strawberry garnish. Partway through. And of course you could do this with a knife as well. But how about if we just put that right in the middle of a strawberry margarita cake. Look at that. That is a showstopper. What do you think, Karen?
I love it.
You love it. And then I thought this would be kind of fun too, because I couldn't help myself. How about a little sprinkling of sea salt on the top? Because the margarita has salt. So you want to really bring it up to standard. That's a true margarita cake. So let me show you our cornbread that's coming out. And our frittata is just about done. I'll get some pot holders here. And there's not much you need to do with the cornbread. It's all done, and just serve it with the butter. And this is why I love my cast iron. Look at that. A small one? Oh, good. Okay. And you know how to season your cast iron. I know we've talked about this before, but you never use soap on your cast iron. And you season it with a little bit of Crisco or shortening and dry it really well and then coat it and leave it in your, I always leave my cast iron in the oven. And or you can do it right on top of your stove as well. And it really keeps them nice. So we're going to put this here. And our cornbread is ready with our, here's our butter. Here's our little chili lime butter. And if you serve this to your guests in the pan as a courtesy, I always suggest you leave the pot holders on the handles, because trust me, somebody's going to grab that and it's not going to be good. So there's our little chili lime butter. And then let's see how our frittata came out. Oh my gosh, look at this. That on the top, that isn't liquid eggs, that's the cheese that has melted along the top. And if we're lucky, this will come out of the pan, or you can certainly serve this in the pan if you'd like. But let's see how this is going to do. And you want to set it up right near the edge, and the cheese is all coming out. And you set that. Oh, it's ooey gooey, and that's how it should be. But those eggs are all set inside. I'll put that right here. And we're going to garnish the top with our beautiful avocados. I'll get a little fork. And I'll show you how to garnish. Now I have on the side, in case somebody wants extras, some salsa, some sour cream, but I'm going to do some salsa right on the top here. Right on the top. Like a little island of salsa. And then a little dab of sour cream. Just to show people how we serve it. Like that. And then for color and our avocados, let's set these all around the edge. In as pretty a formation as you could get along the outside. And you want to serve this while it's still hot. And just for the end, we're going to do some beautiful chives. And you could serve chili peppers on the side if you'd like. But that's our beautiful tortata. Remember that name, you heard it here first. A flour tortilla and some a frittata with eggs, fresh eggs and herbs. That is gorgeous. And don't forget our cornbread with chives, and then we made a beautiful chili lime butter. And our showstopper, find your strawberry cake mix and add some lime zest to your strawberry cake mix. A infused syrup with tequila, lime, and triple sec, and then a glaze with about the same ingredients, but a little more powdered sugar on the top. And that's good chill to room temperature. And don't forget fresh strawberries with tequila, lime, and triple sec as well. You're going to love this. For Cinco de Mayo, a nice brunch, great dinner. I want to thank our guest Karen for coming tonight. Did you learn something? You're going to make it? It's going to be good. And I thank you all for your letters, your comments, your suggestions. And try these recipes. You're going to love them. Thank you for watching. And may the fork be with you.